What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Post. Here we are, just days away from the Kentucky Derby, the big 149th running of the Kentucky Derby to be precise. First Saturday in May. We have post drawing and morning line odds will be set this week, so it's getting real. Churchill just had their first race of their spring/summer meet to kick off Derby week. But things are starting to heat up on the track with horses working out and horses are finishing up shipping in. So, on today's episode, we are going to give you three long shot horses that we think can win the Kentucky Derby, just like Rich Strike did last year at big prices. Um, However, we don't see any, hopefully, no other defections happen where horses kind of draw in or late scratches come race day. So we hope that we have our field of 20 set. All right. So we kind of pulled up some early past performances. And already you could see, based off of speed, last race, Two Phils, who was a long shot pick, has the best speed coming out of his last race. Prime Power Hit Show is up there with the other top two favorites in Forte and Tapatrice. And best speeds so far at this distance, King's Barn, who's a pretty good, decent priced horse, and Disarm, who is another big long shot. So, diving into our three horses that we think could play spoiler on Kentucky Derby Day at big odds. Right out of the gate, you got Two Phils, 25 to 1 ish, probably is what his morning line will be. 8-4 lifetime for Larry Ravelli, a son out of Hard Spun with a little bit of Danzig in there. Just an interesting horse if you like kind of that feel good story. A horse that's kind of been at Turfway Park, shipping in from Churchill Downs, similar to Rich Strike's scenario last year. However, Two Phils comes out of winning the Jeffrey B. Stakes, where I believe Rich Strike finished third or fifth in that race. So, has raced in his last 5 graded stakes races. Obviously, the Street Sense and the Jeffrey B being his best outings, where he won those. Again, posted that big 107 speed figure the last time out. That has been the best so far with any of these horses in the field. Has a big closing speed, not deep closer, but one that likes to sit mid pack. And has a really great late kick. The workouts that this horse has been putting in at like Larry Ravelli's special training facility at Hawthorne has been fantastic. I mean, he did a workout. I know these are somewhat older compared to what we've seen. April 16th, he went 5 furlongs in a minute. Um, was kind of like the top workout on that day for the Hawthorne training course. If you look back, he beat out Major Dude. Um, Kind of ran third in the Risen behind Angel of Empire, who's a pretty good price horse. Beat out Confidence Game, and then ran in the Breeders' Futurity. Was a big price there, almost 70 to 1, and finished seventh behind, of course, Forte. Now, it's going to take a lot for this horse to win. It's going to have to be that decent pace setup. Hopefully, Jareth can kind of navigate some traffic. But I think should see a big race out of Two Phil. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to have to take a step forward again. And with that big speed figure the last time out, usually you see a little bit of regression or kind of average, as you can see. When he's posted a pretty big speed figure, he's kind of stayed average the next 2 or 3 races. So, gonna have to take a big step. And of course, usually speed wins here. Um, he's just gonna have to dig and find a lot. Good horse to use in your top 3 or maybe even top 4 at a good price, that has that late run ability. So if you're that type of better, um, or a win place show better, Two Phil's good selection for you on that. Next, this horse will not be 30 to 1 come possibly morning line or even definitely post time. Look at what Hit Show has been able to do. I mean, if it hasn't been for just a ring of second places or second place finishes, though, this horse could be one of the top 3 or top 4 horses if he wins the Wood Memorial. Has been improving on his speeds. has been the heavy favorite in every race that he's been a part of. Been beaten in two of those, finished fourth in an optional claimer where Confidence Game and Rocket Can came in and beat him. He goes a little bit further in the Withers and wins there, beating out Arctic Arrogance and General Banker, who he was a heavy favorite in there. And then the Wood Memorial just kind of ran out of track, got beaten um, by a nose to Lord Miles, big time long shot Lord Miles. Kind of got jostled in the stretch there, and was I believe they were like three deep with um, Dreamlike, Hit Show, and Lord Miles all coming to the line. So Hit Show should have a better trip. You gotta love the pedigree and Candy Ride with Actress and Tap It on top. I mean, you have Gary and Mary West are the owners, are the breeders, and Brad Cox is training this one. However, we will see. Um, Workouts have been average to say the least. He hasn't put anything up yet that has been scary good or anything like that that are getting betters talking. What's interesting is his primal power in here being third, coming in again behind Forte and Tapit Trice. I think the breeding suggests that this horse will run really well. Brad Cox's training, Manny Franco gets the mount. I mean, there's nothing that this horse has done wrong. You could go back to his optional claiming. Um, they went really fast, I guess you could say, and that he just did not. He was not able to keep up. Um, Again, speed figures are improving. That's always something to look for. And the horse has been even money or 2 to 1 come post time in his only 5 races. So there's something to say if this horse is coming in at 30 to 1. If he doesn't get a lot of attention, this is a great horse at 20 to 1 to put a win wager on, or even a win play show wager. Definitely a horse that we have in our top 5. If you go check out our other videos, this horse is running right now in our top 5 for Kentucky Derby Day. Um, and we will see how closely he creeps up to that 1, 2, or 3 spot once we get our post position draws. And lastly, this horse is on everybody's list already as the wise guy pick. It's going to be Mage. He finally got his rider in Javier Castellano. He's improving, probably the lightest racehorse outside of King's Barn coming in here. Has ran against Forte in his last 2 starts in the Fountain of Youth and the Florida Derby. Of course, we all know the Florida Derby where he kind of was ahead in the stretch of Forte, and Forte barely was able to get by and beat him by a length, I believe is what it was. Um, the horse was 5 wide in that Florida Derby too, coming off. I know Forte was a little bit wider, kind of followed in that path. Um, so what Mage is going to have to do? Run the same exact race as he did in the Florida Derby. Just don't let Forte pass you. Boom, 20 to 1. No way this horse will be 20 to 1. Um, I don't think he'll be 20 to 1 on the morning line. I don't think he'll be 20 to 1 come post time. This horse will get bet down. I see him being in the teens just because of what he did in that Florida Derby. He's been talked about quite a bunch since then, and people seem to think that he's on the improvement. If you look back, he did post a big 101 speed figure when he broke his maiden, and then has kind of not got back to that 100 mark. Um, Again, I think Gustav Delgado is going to have this horse right where he wants it. Um, and it's kind of like, again, he's got to run the same as he did in that Florida Derby. Just do not let Forte pass him. He can he can close or sit off the pace. He closed in the Florida Derby coming from 12th. Just had an awful start, or kind of not an awful start, just kind of started off slow. And then, like I said, 5 wide, kind of got in a little bit of trouble there, but was able to find the front. In his other races, he kind of set mid pack or just off the pace a little bit. Um, and then made his run, I guess you could say, or made his run into the first turn, as he did in his maiden. So one that's interesting, a lightly raced horse. Um, I just don't know if he's going to be a big long shot as he is right now, showing 20 to 1 on some of the Vegas boards. So interesting to say the least. And then another one that we talked about, we didn't really mark, was Disarm, just having some of those primal powers close to some of the other top horses. But I think Hit Show right now is our best bet long shot for anyone that's looking for a long shot of 20 to 1 or greater. Currently 30 to 1. I don't see him going any higher than that. The lowest I see him being is 20 to 1, maybe high teens. Still worthy of a big win wager, or if you're a win place show type wager, Hit Show is where the money should go. There you have it. Um, so there's kind of our top three of long shot horses that we think can win the Kentucky Derby. Big prices, big odds, and big payouts is what we're hoping for on Kentucky Derby Day. We thanks for watching. We will be putting out more videos real soon as Kentucky Derby week heats up, and we see you on Saturday for the 149th Run for the Roses at Churchill Downs. Thanks, everyone.